Nothing was spooky about the Virginia Tech Hokies performance on Thursday night. We are here on Sunday morning. We had so much fun on Thursday. We had so much fun on Friday. We had so much fun on Saturday. We're like, hey, you know what? Let's record this podcast on Sunday morning. Joining me is Billy Ray Mitchell in Atlanta, Georgia. I am Pat Finn in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are the Sons of Saturday. We did celebrate a little bit of Halloween yesterday. Some college football themed costumes were gracing the city of Charlotte, North Carolina. I do enjoy doing football themed costumes every now and then. This year was no different. Had a lot of questions about stealing signs, and this has been planned out for a long time, so I didn't really have any good go-to lines about that. I didn't have any props either, but I thought the look was good, and that's all we really needed. Billy Ray, how are you, my friend? Happy October.
I think you happy on October 29th. I think you really undersold Pat crushes Halloween every single year. Look, that was you tweeted it the other day. We're gonna have an unprecedented amount of fun, and we say it every time that we play a game at home. We had so much fun at this football game. Syracuse came in. I have to say, I felt good about this game. I didn't feel Wake Forest levels of good, but if you asked me, I would have been like, look, it's going to be a 4-quarter game. Virginia Tech's got to use the crowd. They got to play good defense, and it's going to be close. That's not what happened. Virginia Tech, cover your kids' ears, absolutely kicked Syracuse's ass for 4 quarters, and it was awesome. I can't remember the last time we watched a game of that dominant performance against an ACC team with the stakes that we were playing for. I mean, I had so much fun against Pittsburgh. We pretty much had them do nothing on offense. We jumped all over them in the first quarter. I don't even know where to start, so we're going to just start with our Hokie haikus. But Virginia Tech wins the game 38-10. The weekend couldn't have gone better. UNC lost as well. Duke lost as well. We play a massive football game in 6 days, and we're going to talk about all of it. Let's just do the poetry.
Meaningful football in the month of our Lord, November, in the year of our Lord 2023. Andrew Mitchell is always the first to deliver a Hokie haiku. This was in the waning minutes of the fourth quarter. Got loud in Saxburg. Terror Dome. Big win at home. How about that little rhyme? Play the Noles again? Hey, who knows? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We do have a big game in Louisville this weekend. Mark Pluta in the Twitter DMs. Thursday night, Saxburg. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Tell Cher you can turn back time. I think that must be a Cher reference. I am not a Cher truther. I don't know much Cher. Do you know that song?
Cher. I love Cher. There's that one hit wonder. I Got You, Babe. Love that song. Sonny and Cher. Sonny, sad story. Sad story, real quick. I think this is true. I'm pretty sure Sonny died skiing at Breckenridge. I'm pretty sure that's true. Not to be sad, but I'm pretty sure that happened.
Thank you for crushing the mood like we just crushed the orange. And then the third one, we'll read some more at the end. John Cranham. I said, hey, we need more Cran Cam here after these home victories. Confidence is here. Synergy is obvious. More wins on the way.
Big word to syllable ratio here, JC. We missed you a lot, man. We missed you. I know JC was doing some dentist speaking, and educating America or the country or the world. I don't know what he was doing, but I understand. We understand.
And we'll talk about JC and some other a cast of characters in the vibe setting here. So watch Where Do We Tailgate? What was the vibe? Karsten sent me this yesterday. Love the sentiment. He's like, hey, Thursday games are the best. You get the national spotlight. It's a guaranteed night game in Lane Stadium. If you win, Ride that high all weekend long. If you lose, forget about it and actually enjoy the weekend. Thank you for coming to the TED Talk. Karsten, love the TED Talks. But yeah, I mean, you got ESPN on the call. You got Mike Vick in the house. You got Billy Ray. I know you met some NASCAR heroics from VA.
I didn't see him, but Jeb Burton was also in the house. Great picture with Coach Foster. Great pictures with Coach Young. He was around. You know, a guy. You know you're in a good spot when you know you're in a good spot when famous people. And I know Jeb Burton's a Hokie fan, but you know they don't come back a lot when they will do the hashtags that aren't going to picked up by the algorithm. So some of his posts were like, hashtag let's go Hokies or hashtag I love Hokie Nation. But he was touching the Hokie stone. He was down there. He was in the building. You love to see people coming down and checking it out. I think you're going to mention him next here. Why don't you go ahead and share who was in town, and I'll give you one of his quotes that were great.
So we were talking about John Cran, big game boomer and treadmill horse sat in John Cran's seats in section 5 next to K Finn. It was like the ultimate combo here. Did you have any big game boomer treadmill horse feedback that you wanted to share?
I gave big game boomer some I gave him some grief for the student section rankings and some of the rankings, and I said, look, I know it's your shtick. You play into the engagement, which is really well done. But I believe this was his first time at Tech, or his first time in Tech for a long time. He's all the way from Oklahoma, which I didn't know. But by all feedback, I think he had an amazing time. There is one more gentleman. You may know his name. He used to work at the Ringer. He was in town. He's doing like this college football journey all over the place, and he was there too. Do you know who I'm talking about? But he may be going on College Football Monday, and he had a tweet that was so perfect. He said, when I'm going around the country and I go to a Wednesday game, a Thursday game, a Monday game, all the fans are basically like, hey, it stinks that you had to come in the middle of the week. Our crowd is usually not that awesome. But I pull up to Virginia Tech and everyone says, wait, you're going to Virginia Tech on Thursday night? That's awesome. And what an amazing, it's literally like a 3 or 4 hour. Virginia Tech is literally amazing. Imagine not going to school here infomercial every single time you play. And man, this was a big weekend for us, Pat. I don't mean to make it about us off the rip. We Will Trent did a great job taking photos as he typically does, but we also brought in, we'll talk about him in shout outs, but we brought a crew, Chris and Eric, down from On3 to do some work. And that is what this awesome content is coming out all week. I mean, the Daquan Felton celebration, awesome pictures. We're working on one of those movies that come out after a big win. Maybe that'll be out by the time this drops. Maybe it won't. But there is some awesome content coming from this weekend. And to have them come in and for us to perform like this and for the lights to be on and the crowd to be there. I mean, it was awesome. It was fantastic. That first and second quarter, Pat, those third downs, of which Syracuse converted on 0 of them all night, it was deafeningly loud. It was, I think it might have been the loudest game of the year. It was so loud on those third downs. The environment was incredible. And one more thing, I have to tip my cap to Brad Worthman and the group that does just in-game events and coordination and music. My father pointed this out. He was like, going to a football game here, the television timeouts fly by because there's something going on that's awesome all the time. The music was great. I know we celebrated Fixin's national championship. It is just such an amazing production, and the play on the field matched the production. It was so fun. It really was, start to finish, just awesome. What else did you see, man? What else was out there?
The Benny's bites.
Oh,
What an ad for this year that has just everyone's fired up when they bring two students on. How about the field goal kick?
First miss of the year.
I know. Well, I saw that the guy missed on College Game Day too. You had Ken Oxendine leading the Let's Go cheer. I have so much fun during the Let's Go cheer. I mean, it's just can't wait to say who's brought out for NC State. And I just love this team so much at home.
Oh my gosh.
How
much of an idiot am I? Preseason prediction. We're going to win more games on the road than we are at home. Virginia Tech said, hey, we're going to play Purdue in a weird game, and then we're never going to lose. We're not going to lose any more games at home so far. It's been awesome.
Just a brutal take.
Bad take.
But, after so many years of just having scenarios at home, you string 3 dubs together in Lane Stadium in terrific environments. And we know that, hey, NC State, we're going to pull out all the stops for NC State when we get them at home. Honestly, pretty bummed that we only have one more opportunity to take it all in behind the gates of Lane Stadium. And Coach Pry is reestablishing what we know and what we love, and that is winning at home. Now, I know that we have not played, top tier competition at home, but I do know that the last 3 home wins were pretty much complete games over conference opponents. I know there's room for improvement on every single game that we have played, but as far as just going out there and really dominating Pittsburgh, Wake Forest, and Syracuse, extremely encouraging due to how consistent we are getting in those positions. Here is the barometer for how well we played on Thursday night. I went to the concession stands 3 separate times. I never go to the concession stands. And when you're beating a team by that many points and you're having that good of a time and you want to get a refill on the beer and also a turkey leg, hey, let me meander all the way to the southeast corner of the stadium and go get a turkey leg. Fun fact, it was my very first turkey leg. Probably had 10 to 15 people around me all take a bite. We call that a victory bite. Billy, did you have a bite? I think you and your dad both had a bite.
Yeah, I think everybody in Section 5 had a bite of that turkey leg.
It was fantastic. And then ultimately, we get our very favorite bits of content of the day. The Section 5 win photo as displayed right here for the YouTube viewers.
How pretty is that, man?
Look at all those.
How great is that?
Just good-looking people. And then there's nothing like walking out of Lane Stadium with a dub. Truly the most fun content. So, shall we talk about the game?
Yeah, I know you're going to jump into stats. We have talked ad nauseum about the first quarter. Let's just go out and play a good first quarter, and who knows what would happen. Who knows what would happen? Because after the first quarter, we get settled in, we play good football. Like, what would happen if we come out and we play a first quarter? Well, here's the drive chart for Syracuse on their first few drives. 3 and out for Syracuse. Tech kicks a field goal. 3 and out for Syracuse. Tech has a 10-play, 68-yard drive for a touchdown. 3 and out for Syracuse. Tech drives down the field, kicks a field goal. Syracuse goes 3 and out again. Tech drives down the field, kicks a field goal. Syracuse punts on 4 plays, and Tech goes down and scores a touchdown. 6 plays, 93 yards.
And I'm over here on the sideline, and I'm like, hey, are we wasting a scholarship on Peter Moore right now?
He said, we love Peter Moore. We haven't seen – are we going to see Peter Moore punt at all today? Is he going to do
man, he is – I know he's the holder, but he's getting cold over there, man.
Virginia Tech scored points on every single drive but 1 in the first half. Syracuse scored 0 points. That's not correct. Syracuse actually did end up kicking a field goal. So actually, that's on me. That's Billy Ray's fault. Punt, field goal, punt, touchdown, punt, field goal, punt, field goal, punt, touchdown, field goal. So Syracuse did score 3 points. But the point is Virginia Tech played unbelievable in the first quarter, and it was awesome.
The first half, Billy Ray.
First
half.
First half.
I mean, the first half, what was it, like 341 yards and 17 first downs?
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Some numbers here. 8 sacks on the night.
8 of them.
Ocho. That's 15 in the last 2 games, which is the most over a 2-game stretch in like 25 years. Over 500 yards of offense. I have WTF next to this stat. 42 minutes of time of possession.
Oh my gosh.
Who are you? Who are you? 0 rushing yards for Syracuse. Syracuse ran like 42 plays all night, which is hilarious. John Love, 5 of 5 on the night. 15 points for JL. We loved love. We love points. That's what they were saying on the call, with a long of 43, his career long. Kyle Lowe, 8 touchbacks. Any game where you're kicking off 8 times, probably solid.
I mean, setting the tone, coming out, punched him in the mouth, beginning to end. It was unbelievable. If we talk about the offense, if you want to have a singular gripe, one gripe, and it's hard to have a gripe. The red zone offense, it's been a thorn in the heel for Virginia Tech for a while. Getting the ball down inside the Syracuse 30-yard line, inside their 20, ending with a lot of field goals. Would love to see those converted touchdowns. I mean, this football game easily could have been. We could have scored 40 points in the first half easily. Again, there's not that much to complain about. That is my only gripe. Shout out to John Love, 5 of 5. John Love scored 18 points by himself. John Love could have beaten Syracuse on his own. But that's really my only gripe that I have with the offense. Do you have any other qualms?
That's about it. I don't think Drones played his best game. He didn't need to. You don't need to rely on Kyron Drones having a good passing game when you run for over 340 yards, So that's totally fine. Drones was, let's see, I know we
15 of 24 for 194 yards passing.
Sure.
Again, no turnovers. He broke Sean Glennon's record for the most passing attempts without an interception so far. Malachi Thomas.
Did he break it, or is he like 3 away?
I believe he broke it. Sean Glennon tweeted out, I didn't even know that I owned this record, but congratulations. I can confirm that for you. Sean Glennon. Malachi Thomas threw a touchdown as well. By the way, 2 more pass attempts until Kyron Drones ties Sean Glennon's post-1987 Hokies record for consecutive passes without an interception. That record is 149. So he has 2 more pass attempts to break that record. That tweet went out at 9:48 p.m. from Andy Bitter. Malachi Thomas threw a touchdown to
Daquan Felton. That was a little Sam Rogers to Stephen Peoples or Miami 2016. A lot of similarities between this and Miami 2016. You got the 8 sacks, you got the trick play touchdown. Sam Rogers and Malachi Thomas are doing the strong jacked guys embrace meme right now for throwing touchdowns. Probably both have 100 passer ratings. Running game, Bashal Tootin, unstoppable. Yes. 18 carries, 118 yards, touchdown, over 6.5 yards per carry. Malachi Thomas, again, thank you. Love everything we're seeing from him. Just so happy for him. 13 carries, 87 yards, 6.7 yards per carry, and a passing touchdown.
And 100% QBR for Malachi Thomas.
Kyron Drones, 8 carries, 56 yards. He actually had the longest carry of the night of anyone wearing maroon. On Kyron Drones' long run towards the south end zone, did you notice how at the end of the run he kind of slid? And
he didn't want to run it. He didn't run anybody over that time.
I was like, oh man, he might take a hit here. And he just got right up. It was a testament to how big and strong and athletic Drones is. Just if you watch the clip, watching him get up after what seemed to be, I mean, if you or me are doing that, Billy, we might be in the at the hospital the next day.
And then you have Xavier Turner Bradshaw. I had to give him a shout out. I'd love to find a way to get him the ball more. He only had 1 carry, but it was 9 yards, but it was one of the more fun 9-yard gains that you'll see. Very David Wilson-esque. I mean, he ran about 10 or 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Gets 9 yards there. Love to see that. We saw Chance Black, Jeremiah Coney, and Pop Watson all log rushing attempts as well. Look, I think we also figured out some stuff while playing some musical chairs up front. The right side specifically of the offensive line, I want to shout out, was extremely effective on Thursday. We saw some Johnny Garrett at tackle with Brody Meadows at guard. We saw some Laith Ganem as well. He looked pretty awesome. So look, when you're in a position like this, you can try some stuff. You can be experimental. You can roll out some different looks. Tech had the opportunity to do that specifically in the second half. And I'd be remiss. Look, Tyler Bowen, another game where he was in his bag. Trick plays, wrinkles in the run game, running out different looks. I mean, it seemed like this probably wasn't the number, but it seemed like we ran like 3 reverses in the first half. Just making every other team that has to play Tech account for so many different things. And I was talking to Coach Holmes after this, and he made a great point. These 10 days that we had off with the bye week were so important and so well used. You look at the beginning of the year where Grant Wells is the starter and the offense is pretty much catered to his skill set. I think that they used those 10 days as a second camp or a second install period. We tailored this offense so much more to the skill set of the players that are playing at this point in the season. And you have to give a hats off to Tebow and this staff. An incredible, incredible job. And I can't wait for more weeks of watching it. I can't. Can this season never end? I really wouldn't.
I said it to Sam Jesse on our preview pod last week. I said, hey, I want to see something from Daquan Felton. And guess what? Daquan Felton got involved on Thursday night. 62-yard catch and run from Drones. Full extension. We got Will Trent, who had a magnificent Easter egg. We're going to be putting some awesome Daquan Felton touchdown catch content out there. And then the trick play, obviously. So that was awesome.
9 different receivers got involved catching passes. We had Daquan Felton, Jalen Lane, Steven Gosnell, Dawan Lofton, Bashal Tootin, Malachi Thomas, Tucker Holloway, Daquan Wright, who was awesome blocking on Thursday night. Awesome blocking game from Daquan Wright. Glad to see he's okay. When he was down on the field for a while, got back up, came back in the game. And then Benji Gosnell, they all logged receptions, 210 yards, averaging 13.1 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns, and 16 total receptions. Fantastic.
Felton's numbers 3 for 80. Jay Lane 6 for 72. Bummed that Jay Lane did not get in the end zone on Thursday night, but there's always NC State. Hopefully everyone's getting involved on this wide receiving core. Shout out to Coach Mines and the guys. I mean, there's also the potential, the rumors surrounding Ollie Jennings potentially coming back, making an appearance for the last 2 games of the year. So we'll see about that. I know that he was on the sideline in cleats warming up on Thursday, not dressed, but he was in cleats.
Pretty hilarious on College Game Day as well with his Scooby-Doo impersonation.
Raggy.
Not one of your better impersonations, but yes.
Yeah. Well, We'll save it. We'll save it. Ball security has been really impressive from this offense this year. Really impressive. Tip of the cap to. I know. I know. We almost Drones almost got picked off in the first half, and that's why the Syracuse DB plays DB and not wide receiver. But hey, testament to this team taking care of the football. Complementary football equals taking care of the football. You want to talk about the D? Any other closing thoughts on the offense?
No, just a complete game, start to finish. Again, want to get better at the red zone scoring, but if you're ending drives with points, can't really complain too much. The defense, if I had to have a nitpick, there were no turnovers. But I mean, the relentless pursuit to the football, every single down, gap integrity by the linebackers was awesome. And then one more thing that really stood out to me, talked about this with Coach Holmes as well. The interior defensive line did an amazing job getting the heel depth of the interior of Syracuse's offensive line. There was nowhere for Schrader to go. I mean, he was running for his life all night long. And look, Schrader's not a slouch. Schrader's a solid quarterback, can make things happen, good creator, and he just had nowhere to go. Defensive ends pinned their ears back, collapsed the pocket, and then Fuga, Kendricks, Pollard, they were all there to clean it up. It was just a virtuoso performance from the guys up front.
Did you want to talk about your nitpick?
I mean, my one nitpick is just no turnovers. But again, it's hard to really complain when you hold Syracuse to 0 yards per attempt on the ground and you make, Garrett Schrader's life absolutely horrible for 60 minutes.
It was just sack and sack and sack and TFL and sack. Pocket was collapsing all night long. Early in the game, setting the tone. The crowd was setting the tone. The defense was getting in the offense's head. 3 out of the 5 first offensive plays for Syracuse were penalized. A few pre-snap penalties. Section 7 doing their part. Section 5 doing their part. I think we picked up our first false start of the year in Section 5. Bruce was doing a bow after we got after it. I know the biggest play that we allowed all day long was a 22-yard Alfred catch.
Stats that win football games. You mentioned it already. Tech one-time possession, 18 minutes to 42. Syracuse was 0 for 9 on third down. They did not convert a single third down all night long. Dino Babers absolutely in the spin zone. Just a nightmare for Dino Babers in Blacksburg, Virginia. And again, the 8 sacks, no yards per attempt rushing the ball, 12 tackles for loss. Incredible performance.
I guess I'll say.
Go ahead.
What was really tough at the end of the first half, Mose Phillips ejected for targeting. Jalen Stroman gets hurt on what seemed to be like the very next play.
For them
really
to come back. For them to come back and be able to continue to have that type of performance when you're so short at the safety position already, and then to lose both safeties, tip of the cap to Coach Marv and that unit, who were getting a ton of flack at the beginning of the season, understandably so, and to come back and put in this type of performance is just awesome. Such a big, you cannot say enough about how much of a big game this was for both programs trying to get to a bowl game, and glad we came out and made it happen. We have made fun of some of these stats for so much, and we were saying them tongue in cheek. But what are the numbers now for this Virginia Tech defense?
So scoring defense, opponent points per game, we're now 44th at 22.9. So that's an improvement. I know the one that we've been laughing about all year that we can actually we're not laughing at, we're laughing with, passing defense, opponent passing yards per game. Virginia Tech, number three in the country. 165 yards per game. That is just behind Michigan and Ohio State, who have a combined 0 losses. And then you have Virginia Tech and Northern Illinois and Southern Alabama bringing up the 3, 4, and 5 spot. Rushing yards. This is also kind of funny too, because Virginia Tech's rushing defense was ranked in like the 115, 120 range just 4 or 5 weeks ago. And lo and behold, now the Hokies are 74th, only allowing 153 rushing yards per game. That's what happens when Wake Forest only has like 35 and Syracuse has goose egg in the rushing yards department. So pretty impressive. A lot of fun. The defense is having fun. The linebacker play is a lot better. The safeties have been really good this year. The DBs have been fantastic this year. This week's test against Louisville is really going to be a completely different level of quarterback that we've seen, other than Jordan Travis.
These were not updated to reflect this past week's game, but these are sacks per game. So it's not the total, but Virginia Tech was 4th in the country in sacks per game. I can't imagine that would swing that much after this. We always talk about the importance of the guys up front making the tackles and not getting to that third level. Well, we did that. Kelly Lawson led the team with tackles with 7, Jenkins with 5, Pal Ryland 4, Tisdale 4, Kendricks 3, Burgos 3, and then you see a defensive back with 3 in Dorian Strong. So again, amazing job by that front group. I think the common theme of this year, honestly, especially when we got out of non-conference play, which, man, what a lifetime ago that feels like, has just been improvement. It feels like every single unit on this team has improved over the course of the season. That's coaching. That's getting the right guys in there. That's experience. Wide receiver group has gotten significantly better. The tight ends group, which we were super worried about from a blocking perspective when Nick Gallo went down, that group has gotten better. Every single group has improved. And man, it has been awesome. Everybody is getting in on a slice of the pie. We got to talk about our friends, Pat. Why don't you talk about our buddies over at Benny's?
Yeah, the special teams, a slice of special teams, a slice of the Virginia slice. You guys are very familiar with Benny Marzano's in downtown Blacksburg, but there's also Benny Sorrentino's in Harrisonburg. There's Benny's on the ocean, on the Virginia Beach oceanfront. What about Benny Rinaldi's in North Charleston? Benny Palmetto's in Mount Pleasant? Benny Ventano's in Richmond? Or Soldado's in Bedford? I am not Italian, but every single time I take a bite into Benny's pizza, I feel a little bit more Italian. We did a lot of fun content with the men's basketball team on Thursday morning prior to the game. Finished the content off in the lounge in Honhurst, enjoying slices of Benny's pizza with the coaching staff. Ton of fun. Had an awesome time. But shout out to our guys, Chris and Zach over at Benny's Pizza. Get it in Blacksburg, but also try one of their other 30 locations up and down the Mid-Atlantic. Slices, special teams.
Special teams are fantastic. Tucker Holloway, the guy just has incredible vision. It's so funny. We joked about that.
$5 off your pie. Mentioned
$5 off.
Of course, that's the important part. Tell them the sun sent you when you order. $5 off your pie. You kidding me? It's a 28-inch pie.
It's so funny because we talked about this on our interview. So again, my pops is in town. He watches Tech a lot, and the ball is in the air, going to Tucker Holloway on his second or third punt return. And I'm like, oh man, this punt returner is awesome. He's like, man, y'all got a white returner back there as the ball is in the air. Tucker catches it, takes it 57 yards. His vision is incredible. I understand he's fast. I understand he's shifty, but it is his vision and his patience that really, I think, quite honestly, makes him an elite punt returner. He's 4th in the country right now in returns, 18.7 yards per return. Again, this is pre-Saturday stats being in, but it's off the average, so I'm assuming it's going to be right around there. Had 4 returns for 83 yards. His 57-yard return led to points, gave Virginia Tech the ball at the 29-yard line. And then again, John Love, salute my man, 5 for 5, long of 43, 3 for 3 on extra points, 18 total points. Awesome performance all night long, Mr. Love. Great job. Special teams being special. You love to see it. What's it time for?
Today I'm bringing, as I take a sip from the chalice, Pat's Blue Ribbon of the week. PBR. We just mentioned Benny's. Well, nothing goes together like a slice of PBR. How about that? Benny's in Lane Stadium sells PBR, and Lane Stadium is the only stadium, college football, in the United States of America that serves Pabst Blue Ribbon. I want you guys to know this, that we got one game left. NC State. NC State, make that the PBR game for you. If you haven't had a PBR yet from the Bennies in Lane Stadium, we love Pabst Blue Ribbon. And Pat's Blue Ribbon of the week, I am going to give it to just swagger being back in the house. And what I mean by that, consistency and confidence, and hey, this is our house, and no one comes into our house and pisses on us, okay?
Whoa.
This blue ribbon goes to the celebrations. APR and Cole Nelson have the sax celebration where they're like playing like the air guitar. And then Daquan Felton and Jalen Lane do the Hadouken. I think that's what people were calling it, the Hadouken celebration. I didn't understand the references, but I saw a ton of people get hype about it, and I am very excited about it. It was incredible. But the blue ribbon is going to just setting a standard and living up to the standard that at home we don't lose. So that's the blue ribbon of the week.
And it's the energy, the excitement, the celebrating with your team that we've talked about earlier. We were interviewing Mr. Gosnell and Mr. Holloway. They talked about it. They said, hey, look, our staff really hammered us about, look, you guys need to celebrate together. You guys need to celebrate the wins. You need to celebrate the big plays. And I tweeted it from the States during the game. It was a literal party in Blacksburg, Virginia. That is what it was. And it was awesome. Nobody wanted it to end. I didn't even want to leave the stadium when the game was over. But incredible. Incredible.
Letters from the lunch pail. Jared Rogers. A lot of great positives from the last few weeks. Where could you see the improvement needed from us as we head into this final stretch?
I said it. I think converting field goals into touchdowns is crucially important. Coming into this game, it was coming out hot, coming out punching, and making the first quarter a quarter that we can win, and we did that. I would say that would be it. I think Virginia Tech, not great in the red zone touchdown scoring department. They weren't great in the red zone getting any points department a few weeks ago. So we took that first step, and now we got to take that leap into scoring points. So that is what I would say is where I'd like to see some improvement there.
Yeah, and force a few more turnovers. But, I mean, you're playing complementary football. You're dominating time of possession. Score 50. You know, we've been scoring 38 a lot. And I'm not one to complain about scoring 38, but hey, let's run it up a little bit. Let's turn those touchdowns or field goals into touchdowns.
Can we give a hat tip to Hokie Barrett for nailing the score prediction this week?
No, Hokie Barrett commented on the score prediction after the game.
Oh, well, shout out to him.
Did you hit him up and tell him he won? No. Barrett, I know what you're doing. Not getting any free Suns merch, but I like the effort. The effort was there. Yeah. But
he would have
I am monitoring the comments.
SC Hokies with an eye towards Charlotte knocks on wood. I know this is not what SC Hokie is saying, but I have to reply to this tweet that we got. Any time that I am we are simply just sharing with you guys what the data and what the road is. So yesterday I tweet out, Jackets win. Your Virginia Tech Hokies play Louisville next week for sole possession of second place in the ACC. They control their own destiny on the road to the ACC championship. Nothing about that tweet is incorrect. So my guy, Tyler Nelson, he writes back, we can't get excited yet, but we can get excited about getting excited if we win. No, I'm excited. I'm excited now. I'm excited right now. I am excited about the opportunity to play meaningful football games in November. That's what we're doing. So I hate to break it to everybody. Pat and Billy Ray getting on this podcast right here, getting jazzed and telling you about the scenarios. We don't throw the ball. We don't catch the ball. We don't tackle players. We don't break up passes. We're just here to tell you what's happening.
I eat turkey legs and shake my keys on third down.
That is what we do. So if we get excited, I don't think that really affects that much, except my excitement level. And it's high. That's what it's going to be. But back to SC Hokies' question. With an eye towards Charlotte, knocks on wood, been great at home in conference play. Which do you think is the hardest road game left in the schedule? Louisville, Boston College, or UVA? I mean, it's obviously Louisville. Louisville's the toughest team that we are going to play on the schedule. It's the next game. It's the biggest game that Virginia Tech has played. It's probably the biggest game that Virginia Tech has played since 2019 UVA. I don't think that's hyperbolic at all. You can go and you can say, well, we played, ranked Notre Dame this year. We played UNC when they were top 10 in September. Those are all big games, but big games that could potentially lead to something that would, change the trajectory and the conversation around Virginia Tech here. I mean, if you turn on, I'm looking forward to Josh Pate tonight. Josh Pate's going to be talking about us. He doesn't cover Virginia Tech. He covers national college football on a national scale. He's got to talk about us. You tune into ACC Network last night. EMAC, Riggs, Manuel, Tannenbaum, our guy Eddie Royal. They're all fired up about talking about us. That's all because of what we have done thus far. To answer your question, if I had to rank these games, I'm not even going to rank them. I'm just going to tell you the word that jumps out. Louisville, most talented team left on the schedule. Second most talented team we play all year. Boston College, you have to go to Boston. It's going to be cold. There's going to be nobody in the stands. And Castellanos is
strong.
Is scary. He's a scary guy to play against. And then UVA, they might be the best. They might be the best 2-win team in the country. That's not hyperbolic. I mean, they took Miami to the brink yesterday, overtime game. They play extremely, extremely hard. They've had some bad luck in close football games. They beat UNC at UNC. Might have completely derailed UNC's campaign this year, which is hilarious. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun 3 weeks.
Let's be clear here, Billy Ray. UNC derailed their own campaign.
That's true. But closing thoughts. I love this football team. I really do. The journey has been so fun and so crazy in what has to be the most entertaining league of football this year in the ACC. Coach Keys said it in his post-game sit down with the ACC network that, look, like, this is such a fun league. It's a competitive league, top to bottom, from, Florida State, who's competing for college football playoff berth, to Duke, who's battling back from some significant injury stuff. This is the first time that Duke has been blown out, by the way, in the Elko era. Boston College, who's a gritty football team. Virginia Tech, who's hot. NC State beats Clemson. Coach Doran is talking smack to Steve Smith. I mean, it is such a fun league, man. And it is some of the most fun that I've had in Lane Stadium in a long, long time, week in and week out. So I guess my closing thoughts are I love this football team. This league, You kidding me?
This league is awesome. College football in general is awesome this year. There's no clear-cut dominating team. You got the Caleb Williams show got shut down in back-to-back weeks. You got a team like Washington, who we thought was a world beater, and they are having trouble with Arizona and having trouble with Stanford. This Alabama LSU game next week is probably going to be one of the better games all year in college football. You got Georgia, who is certainly the top dog right now. You got the Big Ten is Big Ten. Michigan and Ohio State are clearly the two favorites in the Big Ten, but it's anyone's game at this point. You got Oklahoma going down and losing in Lawrence, Kansas. You got Lance Leopold's team 6-2. They started 5-0 last year. They're bowl eligible now. They're beating Oklahoma, 6th ranked team in the country at home. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a ton of fun. Let's see, Billy Ray. So, is it time for Sharky shoutouts?
It certainly is. Do you want to talk about this awesome new app that we are introducing to this fan base that is going to change everybody's life?
I'm incredibly excited to talk about this. There are a lot of psycho fans out there, and what psycho fan behavior is having a spreadsheet of every single game that you've ever gone to and where it was and what was the score and who'd you go with, and it's color coded. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're just not one of those people, and I understand. However, there is a solution. There's an application. It's called Memento. Momento. AC Memento. You go on there and you can access every Virginia Tech sporting event. Football, basketball's on there too, if I'm not mistaken, from the last 10 years, all the way back to 2013. Which coincides with the first game that I ever went to as a student, the Alabama game in Atlanta. So I went in and I created my profile, and I went in to that first game in 2013 where Nick Saban beat the doors off of Virginia Tech 35-10. But guess what? I have pictures from that day, and I could upload pictures from that day to my Memento, and then I go and see the entire 2013 season and all the games that I attended, and I do that for every single season. I've attended over 100 or I think it was like 84 Virginia Tech games since 2013. Have not logged basketball yet, but this is going to be an awesome app where the diehard fans get together. You follow your friends, you see pictures uploaded, you tag your friends, and you can see, hey, which stadium have I been to most? Which team have I seen most? And whether it's football, it's basketball, it's soccer, you get involved and you really get to share your story and share your memento. So we're going to talk about our mementos from Thursday night. And we're also going to share out a link that has a download link so you guys can get in on the action. My memento from Thursday was a picture of myself and Billy Ray and Billy Ray's old man, Russ Mitchell, where we're on the field before pregame, and we're all just looking excited, looking fired up. And Russ has his tongue out, and it was a perfect example of the fun to follow for 60 minutes there at Lane Stadium. So that makes my memento, and I cannot wait to share it out on the socials with you all. What about you, BRM? What you got?
Yeah. Just real quick to give you guys an idea, like they are adding year after year. You can go back for professional sports even past 2013, and it gives you your profile. I mean, you can see absolutely every place that you've been: professional baseball, soccer, hockey, professional football games if you're into that, and if you're into that kind of thing. And it just creates you a cool little digital ticket that will momenticize your time. They got the stats in there. They got the crowd in there. They got everything. So check them out. We'll have that link up for you. I mean, my memento, oh man, what a photo. What a photo. Yeah, I can't really pick out one. I mean, I had so many special moments with so many people. I do want to just jump into the Sharky shout outs here. Randy Irvin, Hal Byers, who I love seeing every single game. Hal Byers, I appreciate you, man. You are awesome. I know Pat's got his hat on, the virtual background. There it is. The get him on the side. Matthew Rumble, who was rocking an awesome quarter zip that said 8 in the box. Absolutely fire. Please let me know where I can get one of those. Travis Shirey, Scott Schwartz, Peyton Montero, Paul Bertner. Love that guy. And countless other folks. And again, the second last potentially game in Section 5 this past weekend was incredible. So just a really, really awesome weekend. Thank you guys for making it a great weekend for my pops. He hadn't been back since 2017 Clemson. And he had a great time.
Got a long list here. Our guy, Rush Middleton.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Ray, can we have a moment for the Bourbon Hokie sweatshirt? Thank you, Rush. So back-to-back weekends. We got Rush hooking us up with the Bourbon Hokie sweatshirts. Mine's actually right here. Check that out. Bourbon Hokie. You got Hal Byers hooking us up with the hats. Guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We love wearing it. Big John Barlow, Marianne Barlow, Rachel and Tyler, the gang. Where was Abby Barlow this weekend is my question. We'll have to see. We'll have to see everyone at NC State in the Section 5 send-off. Joe Beamer and Mr. Lemelin. Okay, Joe Beamer, an absolute character. All-time Hokie. Joe's like, dude, I met this guy. I think I talked about it 2 years ago on the West Virginia podcast. I met him. He sat behind us at the West Virginia game in Morgantown. I had sunscreen. He was getting married like the next weekend. He's like, dude, I need some of that sunscreen. Like, I need some of that sunscreen. So guess what? I gave him some of that sunscreen, and we are now friends because of said transaction. So my guy, Joe, tailgates at the German Club, has been doing it for years. Him and his dad drive down from Buffalo every single home game to see Virginia Tech play. Wow. We talked about psycho fan behavior. That's psycho fan behavior right there. I want to see Joe Beamer's list of mementos, okay? So shout out to him and the efforts that they go through. He said, I'm going to be at the Virginia Tech Syracuse game. I'm not going to the Thursday night Bills game. Why would I do that? Pawned off his tickets to the Bills game, was in lane, got in the Section 5 pick. He's right behind my head. Let's see. Brad and Ginger Bailey back in Lane Stadium. We had Annie and Hannah back in the house as well. They enjoyed their first Section 5 experience, both on record saying that they had unprecedented amounts of fun on Thursday. Saw the gang at Mayhewl's tailgate and regrouped at Tots for a post-game celebration. Shout out to my guy, Chad Joyce. Several high fives were exchanged with Tommy Amal in Section 5. He was also at the post-game celebration. And speaking of top of the stairs, few mentions on the broadcast between Matt Barry and Dan Mullen. I know Jason Bronze and Russ were holding it down behind the bar post-dub at Tots. Andy and Tracy Newman love their spirit more than anything. Freaking just love their spirit. Love seeing them. They introduced me to Jeb Burton. That was cool. And, they were hanging out with Dax down on the field as well. Dax Hollifield, one of my favorite Charlotte residents, took a video during Sandman right at the end where the players are all running out and Dax is at the very end of the line, getting in everyone's face, juicing up the players. That was incredible. Shout out to the content grabbers. Will Trent, Willie T Media. You got to follow him at Willie T Media. Scooter Waller, always taking incredible shots. Michael Conway, Jake Sells. I really have to give an all-out bow to Eric Shepard and Chris Jones, who joined us for content all day on Thursday. Some content with the basketball team that we're really excited to put out. And then the sights and sounds of game day video that we will be putting out at some point as well from Syracuse. So could not appreciate them more. Had an awesome time.
They came down from Charlotte and stayed overnight and left after the game. Didn't get back to Charlotte or Raleigh or wherever they live until 2:30 in the morning. So, and then we're at work the next day. So, you guys get some grit points for that. That was incredible.
Hunter and Carter Atherton and Matt Balance, always a pleasure. And then, honestly, like Billy mentioned, Paul Burtner, like all you guys who are tuning into this podcast every single week and coming down to Section 5, you're like, hey, 3 minutes left in the game. I got to go make my way over there because the picture's going to happen, and then people are they got to beat the traffic. We got some folks driving back to Charlotte immediately after the game. They got to leave with 5 minutes left in the game to beat the traffic. They missed the picture, but understand you got to get back. Got to get back home. But whoever is joining us for those pictures, coming up, introducing yourself, getting pictures, like love seeing you all come over and could not be more appreciative of that. Celebrating a win and coming together and having an awesome time. And then just with one game left here, NC State, potentially the last Section 5 game with how the reseeding is going to go over. We're not necessarily sure the plan yet on that. But that being said, this does kick off the official 2023 Get Rob Cipolla to a Football Game campaign. We need Rob in Section 5 more than anything for NC State. So, Billy, any commentary on the campaign that we're launching here?
No, I mean, if you see him, let him know. I've said it basically at every single game. I miss Rob Cipolla. So we need you, Rob. We need you to make your way down.
Without a doubt. So that being said, do you have any other shout outs before I kick off or spiral out with some haikus, some poetry?
No, nothing else. I mean, what an amazing memory. What a fun year. We have a tremendous challenge with Louisville on the road. We'll be taking that in Scottsdale, Arizona, celebrating Griffin's bachelor party. So best believe we will be loud, we will be proud, and we will be involved. I think it's safe to say that if that wasn't happening, we'd be there, but there's no place that I would rather be than celebrating our guy Griff as he gets ready to walk into a life of holy matrimony with his lovely fiance, Maddie. So
Maddie, we love you as well. Griff is marrying a Tar Heel, so we're taking all and any and all recommendations for Scottsdale, Arizona this weekend. Haikus, Tom Persinger. The old school is back. All maroon on Thursday night. Sandman loves orange juice. 6 syllables, but we'll give it to you, Tom. Love it. Pete McGee, sacks are back in style. Oh, Pete McGee loves having the 1 to 2 syllable words in his haikus. Is style 1 or 2 syllables, Billy Ray?
Style. I think it's 2.
I think it's 2. It's like style. Orange, style, or orange style. Pete, I love it. Sacks are back in style. Are we delusional or will Hokies win out? We are not delusional, Pete. Let's go. Hokie hack. Hokies juiced the Cuse. Thursdays are for the Hokies. It's now Bourbon Week. It is. Pencil Tucky Hokie. JC in his bag. Xavion Turner Bradshaw. That reverse was smooth.
Bradshaw. Yeah.
Anytime you're just using a player's full name as an entire line of the middle line of a haiku, you are a artist. You're an artist at poetry. Pencil Tucky Hokie. And then Oswald, Mr. Oswald Bates. Outside runs, long throws, leaves turn orange and maroon. All is improving. Really fun poetry this week. And I love doing this at the end. I love how we kind of splice it up a little bit. That's all I got.
What a weekend.
This winning thing is just
it's so awesome.
It's
So
a little
awesome.
different. So
I know we were I tell you, this is a lot more fun than the alternative. But what an absolute turnaround. And we say it every single week. If you would have told me 4 weeks ago we'd be here, I wouldn't believe you. And here we are saying it again. So huge week.
real test.
Huge week.
A real test.
Huge
a real
week.
test for Coach Pry and his staff to get their first Power 5 win on the road versus a ranked opponent. No less. Let's go out there. Let's compete. Hokie fans, go out, enjoy the bourbon. Not too much. Got a football game to win. Is that a podcast?
That's a podcast. Like, subscribe, 5
Please.
stars. It helps. It does help. It does help. And let's go.